We ready to go? Mike and Mike?
Yes.
Good? Okay. All right. Thanksgiving week is probably, me personally, my favorite week of the year. If you're playing football this time of the year, then you're pretty fortunate. You know, I've told the kids here the last couple of days that take advantage of it while you can, because when it's gone, you're going to miss this. Being able to spend time with your football family for an entire week with no distractions, just worried about football, just worried about preparing to play a Big 12 football game is something that they will miss when it's gone. So take advantage of it and make the most of it. We obviously, because of the game this Saturday is at 11 a.m., we will take this whole week and prepare in the morning time to get them ready for an early game. You know, we meet and lift in the morning and get out there and practice about the time that we would be out there to stretch. So that's what we'll be doing all week, kind of give them the afternoons off to be able to enjoy their time off. And then, you know, it'd be a normal Friday routine as far as traveling, going over there. It'd be a hard game, as they all are. There's no easy games. There's no easy games in the Big 12. Need to ignore their record. They're going to be competitive. They're going to try. They're going to give effort. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be a group of guys that are going to want to win the game. The last 2 years, if you just look at what happened the last 2 years, going there 2 years ago, the game was challenging. It was one of the more challenging games that we've had. Pulled out a victory 2 years ago, and then last year, much of the things that we talked about throughout the entire offseason had to do with how we finished the year last year, up 31-7 in the third quarter, and then blowing that lead, losing in triple overtime, didn't finish that game, didn't finish the year, didn't win. So we're pretty motivated to be able to play and to, you know, hopefully finish the year better than we did a year ago, and get ourselves in a good spot when it comes to preparing for the bowl game. Iowa State's good on offense. They're good on offense. They got good skill. You know, the Richardson kid's playing pretty good. Was banged up a couple of weeks ago, but he, you know, back last week against Tech, had a good game. You know, guy we're familiar with, didn't play against us last year, but played against us 2 years ago. Has played a lot of ball for him. Runs a lot better than he looks. Is really a good runner. Is their second leading rusher. Number two, Wimberly, their running back, is a quality back. They got two big receivers that are young, 6'5" and 6'5", I believe, number 5 and number 8. 8 played against us last year. 6 is a true freshman, but those are two big guys on the outside that are getting better and better. And then number 1, the slot, the West kid, is a guy that's done some good things for him too. So they got good skill. They're going to score points. They're going to move the ball. You know, we got to match up with them, and we got to make sure that we get to the quarterback. One thing that I was very unhappy with, that I did make mention in my press conference after the game, you know, we did great goal line stand-wise defensively. We did great in stopping the run. We didn't touch their quarterback all night, and so he sat back there. Even when we blitzed, he said, you know, we're trying to play man coverage with a quarterback that's got 3-4 seconds to throw the ball. If we can't get to the quarterback, I don't care who we play, it's going to be a long day for us. So we're working hard this week on trying to get to the quarterback, and we're going to have to do that in order to slow these guys down. Defensively, they're the same as they've been. You know, they're a 4-3 team that, you know, adds people to the box when they need to. You know, been coached the same way for 5-6 years. You know, they do a great job of coaching them up. Their guys play hard. They play with effort. They're always going to be in the right spots. You know, we've had our challenges with them in the past, and know what we're dealing with there. We're going to have to block them. We're going to have to sustain blocks. We're going to have to do a good job with that, which I assume we will. Special teams wise, their returners have got things going. The West kid, number 1, I mean, he returned 1 against Kansas State. You know, their place kicker is almost perfect on the year. He's only missed a couple, so they're sound in the kicking game as well. We're expecting a challenging team that's going to play hard, that's going to give us everything that they got. And again, if you just look back to what the last 2 games against these guys have been, we got our work cut out for us to be able to finish up the regular season with the victory. So with that, we'll take some questions.
Danny, you didn't mention Bibbs or tight end. How good is he? Does he remind you of anybody you've seen?
Yeah, and that was a mistake on my part. He's the best tight end in the league. I mean, the dude's really athletic. I mean, they use him in a bunch of different ways. I had him starred right there. I just looked by it right there. Clearly, he's a guy that we're aware of. He's a guy that really hurts people in the passing game. He's big enough and athletic enough to where he can be an attached tight end and do some good things there. But you know, him in the pass game is somebody that we're going to have to every single snap be aware of where he's at.
Bring us up to date on the quarterback situation and your Clint's performance recently or last game recently. Have anything to do with his start?
No, Clint's our starting quarterback. He's been our starting quarterback for 11 games. He's been a huge part in the success that we've had offensively. You know, has done a great job for us. He's dinged up right now. You know, it's still unknown as far as what's going to happen. We got all those guys repping right now, so we're going to continue to evaluate the situation today, tomorrow, Thursday, even to Friday, to see exactly who's going to be getting the reps.
Did he in fact have a concussion?
He got dinged up and they took his helmet, so I guess that means he had a concussion, yes. So did Jordan Thompson, and Jordan is cleared and ready to go. I would hate to comment on the severity of concussions because I don't know what the severity of the concussions are. That's for our doctors for them to evaluate. They got tests, they got written tests, they got computerized tests and all that. When they say thumbs up, that means thumbs up. I get to coach them. So up until this point right now, they have not given the thumbs up.
Did you expect him to practice today?
He did not practice today. We've already practiced today. I would expect him to practice tomorrow, yes.
How about Daryl Worley health-wise?
He's out there in green. Yeah, he's got a lingering shoulder issue. And again, guys, I mean, keep in mind we're week 12 now. I mean, what we're dealing with is what everybody else in the country is dealing with. There's going to be guys banged up. You know, Worley went out in the third quarter. Chestnut went out in the second quarter. Those 2 guys have been banged up all year. They play hard. Chestnut's been cleared, ready to go. Daryl's been practicing out there, but he's in green. Strength is an issue. We will continue to monitor that progress as well.
What have you seen from Skyler just throughout the year as he's been preparing for the opportunity, possibly if it ever came? You know, what do you know about him that if it is his team on Saturday, you're ready for it?
Yeah, I was, and again, after watching the tape, it did nothing but confirm what I said on Thursday night. I was extremely happy with how he went in there and the spark that he gave us. I mean, he's been here since, you know, he's been here for almost a year now, and it's taken a lot of reps. We, earlier in the year, didn't think he was ready to go. He has a red shirt. We tried to red shirt him. You know, this happens with Williams. We need a backup quarterback, so we start repping him. He's been repping a lot for the last 2 months, and you can clearly see that things are starting to click for him. Really the first game opportunity that he's had to go in there and perform, and I thought he handled it awesome. I thought he handled it really well. And I would anticipate that he's going to continue, like all quarterbacks, get better with reps.
In regard to Clint dinged up and the whole thing about in Game 12, it's not obvious that one play against Kansas State. How much of where he's at physically, and how much maybe of his performance of late is the first 11 games?
I don't think the season's taken its toll on him. It has on a number of other guys as well. I mean, I can go down the list as far as guys that you know, are the wear and tear of the season, the snaps. We talked about this. All the guys that have played a bunch of snaps, I think it's hurt our offensive line performance because we've only played 5 guys. You know, there's some safeties and some linebackers that I'm not prepared to say that they're not playing well, but they're the length of the season, you know, week in and week out, a lot of snaps. it's taken its toll a little bit. Yeah, I think that's the thing. I don't think Clint's done anything performance-wise to jeopardize his starting quarterback role. I think he's a great leader. He's done a great job for us in the locker room. He studies the game. His approach to the Kansas State game was as good as any of the other games leading up until this point. So I hope he can finish the year. I mean, he's earned that. He's deserved that. Again, I got to put guys in there. I'm paid to win football games, so I got to put guys in there that give us the best chance to win. I think up until Skyler probably scored a couple of touchdowns in there, we thought Clint was the best option out there. So I don't think he's done anything to jeopardize that at this point.
What do you see out of Shaq Petaway? Slotted in as a depth chart again for what it's worth.
He's a starter. Yeah, he's a starter right now. He Coach Gibby made that decision either late first quarter or early second quarter, because Shaq's been playing a bunch. I mean, him and Muldrow have been splitting reps, and Shaq just keeps improving, keeps getting better. He's been battling injuries his whole career, but he's been in there and he feels comfortable. He's got snap to him. He's got twitch to him. He can get to the quarterback. He can cover. He just continues to get better and better. And so he is right now one of our main starters.
Satisfying for you? I mean, he's a guy who you've been a little reluctant to talk about in the past because of the health issues, hasn't been able to stay on the field. To see him kind of fight his way through that and at this point be in that role? It
happens to kids that have been in the program for 4 years. It's tough to get guys to after 6 weeks, 7 weeks, expect the light to come on to be real players. But he's been here as long as I've been here. I mean, he came in and he played his freshman year. He got hurt. He redshirted. He got hurt again. Just hangs in there, And there is a point where I didn't know if he would ever be anything more than a backup, any more than a special teams guy. And the guy's really playing well right now.
Kansas State punt return the other night, was that just simply a miss hit on Nick's part? Did you think he was supposed to kick it?
I'd prefer to talk about Iowa State, but yes, he mishit it, and we had 10 cover guys go that way, and the ball went that way. We had no chance. It is what it is.
Offensively, get going again. What is it you have to do this week better than you've done last week?
I thought the last quarter and a half, having about 300 yards of total offense, was much better than the first 2.5 quarters. So, our guy, and again, I've got some issues with execution. I've got some issues with ball security. I've got some issues with, some things. The effort and the attitude's not one thing I've had to address all year. So, locker room, we challenged them. Went back outside and they kept playing, and it wasn't just the offense, it was the whole team. Went out and played and had a chance to win the game in the end. Came up a little bit short, disappointing. Nobody's more disappointing than I am. But our guys didn't quit. They don't know what that means. I think Skyler coming in gave us a little bit of bounce. Ended up doing a good job of getting the ball downfield. Guys made some plays. Mario made a play. Kevin made a play. DeKeel made some plays. I think we still got the guys to be able to go out there and try and continue to execute, continue to try to get a little bit better.
What in your mind is the difference between a winning season and a 500 season, which is your?
It would be a win this weekend and a win in the bowl game. Would ensure us of more than 500%, right? I think we're a good football team. Our guys aren't quitting. I mean, nobody's happy about a three-game losing streak. We've lost to the number 6 team in the country, the number 10 team in the country, and then Texas, who may be as hot as all of them right now. I mean, we feel like we could be in that same conversation with the teams that they are, and we came up a little bit short. Didn't get the job done. So going to be judged on the next one. And the next one's the only one that counts right now. Going to be judged on the next one. We want to go play well. We want to go get a win, and then we want to have a good month to prepare for a bowl game. Winning this one and winning the bowl game will, we'll feel good at that point.
Okay.
been part of this conference long enough to playing at Iowa State in November, as far as weather goes, can cause some issues. And the last time you were there, obviously, you guys addressed that during practice.
Yeah, it was that 2 years ago. That was tough. I mean, that and Rutgers were tough. The rest of the weather, quote unquote, weather games that we've had, I don't view as any more challenging than anything else. I mean, I guess there's some soft people that would have said that the weather on Saturday night was an issue. It wasn't for the two teams that were on the field. I don't know. I looked at the weather report. It's pretty favorable. Make the fans happy. Make y'all happy, I guess.
You guys have put an emphasis on finishing this season. Obviously, it's been one of the things you've talked about. After the last 2 weeks, have you guys talked about starting? Have you noticed a common thread for these two games and the challenges you've had?
Yeah, about the time you start talking about finishing, then starting becomes an issue, and then you focus on starting, and then finishing becomes an issue. I mean, I could come up with about 50 points that we need to talk about that are all important. I did talk about starting today. I mean, we talked about finishing the season. I talked about starting the game better. And again, we're practicing that this week. We're getting them up, and we're going to get in the weight room for 30, 45 minutes, and then we're going to meet, and then we're going to go out and we're going to practice, and it's all going to be done by 1 o'clock. So we're talking about it, and that's the one thing. Offensively, I thought we've done a pretty good job of starting the majority of the year. If you look at our opening drives, a lot of them score. So it's been something that we talk about. It's something that everybody talks about. Have not done a very good job of it the last 2 weeks, that's for sure.
Lost 16 fumbles, I think, and recovered 2. Either one of those numbers is unusual. To see both happen. Is there any explanation? Is it execution, fundamentals, luck?
I don't know. That's crazy, man. I mean, as good a defense as we're playing, we can't get one. I don't get it. And then we get one, and offense is so dang shocked. We got one on kickoff team. Offense is in shock. And we go out there and we 3 and out and go backwards and miss a field goal. I mean, geez. I don't know. I don't know. Ball security is a problem. Ball security is a problem. I can assure you we've talked about it. I can assure you we've addressed it. I've ignored it. We've worked on it. I've obsessed over it. We've read books on it. We've made them write books on it. We've read books. We've talked about it. We've shown videos. We've done virtually every single thing, including coach punt returners, to be able to possess the ball. I'm clearly failing when it comes to getting our guys to understand the importance of possessing the ball.
Is that something you can tell in practice that the guys are fumbling a lot, ball security is a problem, or is it really just show up on Saturdays?
Yeah, it's random things on Saturday, and it's not one person or one thing. It's random things. It's our quarterback in the pocket. It's our punt returners. It's quarterback, running back exchanges. It's open field, poor ball security. I mean, there's been a couple of receivers catch it, turn up field, and get it batted down. A variety of things.
For all the positives we've seen this year, turnover margin's been something you struggle with from week 1, I think. Any rhyme or reason, anything you can
There's no thinking about it. It is a problem. We've addressed it. I don't know what else to say.
Dana, you've made it a point this year to try to accentuate the positives on your special teams, saying that you just had these incredible breakdowns that spoiled otherwise decent performances, but they keep happening, particularly in giving up returns and fielding punts. Has your view of your special teams changed at all?
Well, there's been some glaring things that everybody sees and everybody's uncomfortable with it. There's been very good coverages at times. There's been a couple of kickoff returns for touchdowns. There's been last-second field goals that I think everybody's been happy about. There's been very good things that happen and very bad things that happen. I think if you look at anybody's special teams across the country, that's going to be similar to everybody else as well. I think we got a good plan on all the big four, and I think our specialists have been dynamic and need to probably work on being a little bit more consistent.
This is something that probably not only I would notice, but you're in the last press conference of the regular season, and just about done with it, and Kevin White and Mary Alford's name have not come up yet today. What do you make of that?
I hadn't even thought about it, I guess. Need to get them the ball, you know. I mean, those guys have been, I don't think they're wore out, you know. I mean, they're playing virtually every single snap at receiver. I mean, I've complained and complained and complained about depth at that spot, not as an overall problem, but at that spot I've complained about depth. Those guys take a lot of snaps. They're two guys that can change a game. You know, Mario made a great play and gave us a chance. Kevin's been, you know, pretty consistent. I don't know if they're wearing down or not. I think we'll find out on Saturday how they're doing.
Are you convinced in your mind that when they leave here that they have careers ahead of them for?
That's not for me to. I think Kevin continues to get better and's got a lot ahead of him. Mario's got something that nobody can coach. So those guys clearly possess something that the next level wants. You know, I hesitate to talk about the next level. I thought Justin Blackman was a pretty good player, and he's kind of fizzled a little bit. Hopefully he gets it back. That's out of my area.
Dana, if Skyler has to start can't play, who's the backup?
Paul's been taking reps out there. He can go. Logan Moore's been taking reps out there. He can go. You know, Williams still hasn't been cleared. I think we'll be able to start repping him some next week in developmental practices. You know, but Logan could rep. He could take snaps for us. If we need to use Paul, obviously we're going to pull the red shirt and use him if we need to. Skyler's good and he's ready to go, and I expect Clint to be ready to go as well.
Have you talked to Paul about returning?
Yeah.
Is that his plan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate it.